the sense that men receive is that any weakness is shameful. So if you feel weak and you feel vulnerable, it's considered by others to be weakness. And then if that's considered to be weakness, then it's particularly risky for men to be vulnerable. But in the words of another great teacher of mine, Brené Brown, who has studied shame and vulnerability, she said the antidote to shame is vulnerability. So for me, creating a space with the men, creating a space that allows them to be vulnerable is the antidote. Helping men to recognize and acknowledge the shame is the first step into helping them. Helping them understand what triggers the shame and that it's okay, it's a universal emotion. For most men, the, the only connection most men have with their body is with what they have between their legs. And the rest of their body they neglect unless to criticize their belly or criticize the fact that they don't have big muscles or the right shape that they should have. Most men are not aware about what they feel in different parts of the body. So being patient with this and listen to the man's expression of what he's connecting, his felt sense of what he's feeling. For me, the stories that the man tells are far less important than the feelings that he's feeling. And listening, having the man listen to his feelings and giving voice to those feelings is so, so important. I have 7 and 8-year-olds who are being put on, amphetamine-like drugs like Ritalin to calm them down because they are being boys. So they learn that there's something wrong and that they need to suppress that. And that they also need to learn that suppressing their feelings, suppressing their emotions is actually an important part of what they're expected to do. And that their suppressing of their emotions, and in fact their very manliness, depends on them suppressing their emotions. Men who tell me they don't have time for their wives or children, but spend 4 to 5 to 6 hours a night watching porn. This is huge. This is a culture. This is, for me, this is the extreme of disconnection from the man's body. And this is the extreme of what happens when the man has been shamed, often at a very early age, shamed that he has a sexual urge, shamed that he wants to have sex, shamed that he wants to have more sex than his partner, and constantly being reinforced that he is wrong, constantly being reinforced that he and his desires are shameful. And I love working with vulnerability because this is a dirty word for most men. Vulnerability, it's like you have to avoid being vulnerable. But Brené Brown, I mentioned earlier, she said vulnerability is our superpower, our superpower. So helping a man to realize that being vulnerable is where his real power begins. Being vulnerable and accepting himself, having compassion for himself, loving himself even. The love takes a while, but we can start with acceptance and build up to love. But that's where the real healing comes in.